be tough to sit across the table from Vladimir Putin, who started this war just 3 years ago by sending hundreds of thousands of troops into Ukraine, who committed atrocities and occupied 20% of this nation. Sit across the table from him and threaten him. He is a gangster and a thug. Senator Roger Wicker, who's Republican chairman of the Armed Services Committee, made it clear that he understands that Putin is a war criminal, not our partner, not our ally. And if Trump were to say, you must stop, and we're going to increase sanctions on you, we're going to send more weapons into Ukraine, we're locking arms with the Europeans and the Ukrainians, and you will lose, then there is a real chance that Putin would say, and stop, and be willing to accept a security guarantee from the United States, Western troops in Ukraine, and a permanent peace that would allow Ukraine to remain a sovereign and free country. If, on the other hand, as seemed likely from the comments of Secretary Hegseth and the speech by Vice President Vance at Munich, a place famous for Neville Chamberlain's surrender of the Sudetenland and abandonment of the last best chance of stopping the Nazis, if instead they release or reduce the sanctions, they refuse an American backstop, they begin to suggest an American abandonment of Europe and a betrayal of Ukraine, Donald Trump will be known as the biggest loser of the 21st century, the man who chose a team that includes Russia, North Korea, Iran, and China over our team that is Ukraine, Germany, France, Italy, Great Britain, the folks who have been our partners and allies for decades and who share our values.
That appears to be what he's doing.
It does.
And then what would be the next steps in this? I mean, we've got the 82nd Airborne at the border between Poland and Ukraine. I mean, where does this go? If
it goes as badly as is possible, he literally begins to draw American troops out of Europe and abandons not just Ukraine, but NATO and Europe. That would be an awful outcome. It would profoundly destabilize the world and make the American people less safe. It would signal to Xi Jinping that Taiwan is next on the menu. And look, in his first month, President Trump has engaged in a dizzying series of threats. He's threatened Denmark and Greenland, Panama and the Panama Canal, Canada, to turn Gaza into a Riviera by relocating millions. He has confused our partners and allies in a remarkable way.
Peter Baker.
So Joe was actually just talking about Secretary Rubio, and I have to admit that Senator Rubio of 2016, I think, would have been pretty up in arms about what we heard yesterday. And Secretary Rubio of 2024 or 2025 probably won't be. What do you think that tells us about where Republicans are, the Republican Party of Reagan, as Joe said? I mean, this is something that used to be a core value. And in fact, when Trump came in 2017, the first thing he wanted to do was lift sanctions. It was Mitch McConnell, John McCain. The Republicans said, no, don't do that. We will pass the legislation if you do. And he backed off. Where are those Republicans?
So Senator Rubio and I did a joint speech about opposing Russia on the floor of the Senate. I believe it was Senator Rubio who, in the last NDAA, the Defense Authorization Bill, led an amendment saying that the president can't pull us out of NATO unilaterally. And I did have a chance to meet with him in Munich, along with a bipartisan group of senators. And I think he remains at his core a normal Republican, a Reagan Republican. But to your point about this administration, even though Mike Waltz, the National Security Advisor, Marco Rubio, the Secretary of State, may know better than believing that abandoning Ukraine is in our national security interest, President Trump is the one who, I think yesterday, said it's Ukraine's fault they started this war, which is just wildly untrue, bluntly offensive to everyone who understands what's actually happened in the last 3 years. And the Republican senators who were with me in Munich, sitting across the table from President Zelensky, saying we are with you, now need to put some spine behind their statements.
Elizabeth, this is the enduring question. What is President Trump's ultimate goal here? I mean, and he's a California.
So what do you make of the latest comments from President Trump about Zelensky, Congressman?
Thank you, Pamela, for your question. Donald Trump acts like he is scared of Vladimir Putin. I don't know why that is, but it is highly disturbing. A few years ago, Donald Trump said he trusted Vladimir Putin more than our own intelligence officials. You see Trump, when he's with Putin, the body language Trump sends is one of weakness. And now you see Trump giving away the store when it comes to the Ukraine-Russia conflict. And name calling is certainly not helpful. And I wish the president would stop that and show strength. The American people does not want the American president to show weakness. And that's what Trump is doing right now, showing weakness.
So let's talk about what Zelensky is doing, too, because he is firing back at Trump. Before this latest post, he is accusing him of living in a disinformation space of Russian propaganda. What do you think about Zelensky's approach? I mean, you know, we've had some on our air who have said, look, Zelensky has no cards to play here, and maybe he should just cool it. What do you think about that?
I certainly think that there are ways to say things more diplomatically. However, it's simply a fact that Donald Trump is spewing Russian misinformation.
Oh, right.
Russia attacked Ukraine not once, but
Russia attacked Ukraine and
twice. The first in 2014 when they took Crimea. And because the world and the United States did nothing about it, Russia attacked again in
what? Russia attacked again? Why?
2022. And if Trump capitulates to Russia and surrenders, then Russia is going to attack again.
Right.
I want to turn to other news of the.
On the Elon Musk front, when it comes to Social Security payments and what is actually wrong with government and what's exaggerated, we're hearing this line from the White House that tens of millions of people are getting Social Security.
Wow, 10 million people and
fraudulently, either they're dead or.
Yeah, I don't believe that for a second. And
you don't believe why?
We've gotten no evidence of it, but I looked into this, and what we do know is that there's a lot of people that still remain in the database, but as far as people who are actually getting payments, it was 44,000 who got payments according to an audit that was done in 2023.
out of how many millions?
There's tens of millions. So when they say
10 million.
tens of millions, that
Look,
would be
this is
a third of
what
people
we
who
are
on
dealing
Social
with.
Security.
We're not only dealing with oligarchy, the incredible power of the very,
What incredible power? Why?
very rich. We're not only dealing with a move toward authoritarianism, we're dealing with what is new to America. You know, politicians have always lied, nothing new about that. But the level that we're seeing right now, the big lie,
Oh, big lie. So,
over and over again. And it goes out, there's a big lie, and then it goes out on Musk's Twitter
a big lie over again. Oh,
to, several hundred million people,
700 million people.
repeated over and over again. Now the word is out there, people on Social Security, 150 years of age. Can you believe it? The whole thing is corrupt. It's broken. Well, where does that lead you, Caitlin? What's the next step?
Right. What's the next step?
Government can't do anything. If Social Security doesn't work, if Medicare doesn't work, if Medicaid doesn't work, we're going to get rid of all of those programs.
Yeah, right. I think so.
And we're going to give it over to the billionaire class to run it.
That's what you think they're ultimately trying to do.
Yeah, at the end of the
Yeah,
day,
right.
not only do they,
Social Security.
they want massive cuts to programs for the working class in this country in order to give tax breaks to the very rich, and then they want to move to the privatization of every important government agency.
Right.
Just the other day, and it's really upset me.
So everyone, please comment how was this video. So parents, please, so parents, I want to say, do you support Russian President Vladimir Putin? Please comment. So I know everyone people will comments. Vladimir Putin, this is not well in Russia. So sometime ago, MNBC News and another popular top news channel said Russian president he is very very unwell in Russia, and a lot of people does not like Russian President Vladimir Putin. So this is very important for Russian people. So I think Tampa support Russian President Vladimir Putin. I don't know. That's it. I don't know about it. So parents, I know Russia President Vladimir Putin, Russia and Ukraine work was very bad, very sad because Russia almost attacked Ukraine. So I know Russia is there are a lot of army and another big power in Russia. So I don't doesn't matter. So parents, okay. So parents, please comment what's your favorite country in the world. Okay. So parents, okay. See you later. Again, another new reaction to amazing video.